Kia ora, it's Grant here with another language lesson for you in Te Reo Māori. As you can see on the screen share, we're going to be having a little bit more of a detailed look around language and grammar. So let's get into it. But before that, please make sure you hit the like button and please make sure you hit the subscribe button to follow along. So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at here this kupu called K. And what I've done, I've taken a screenshot from maoridictionary.co.nz. Now, this kupu K is one that comes up a lot in a lot of beginner literacy. If you look at tenses are often a starting place for learning Te Reo Māori. We talk about our tenses like I am doing something, he is doing something, I went somewhere. And in that sense, we would say kei te in the present tense. I've got an example here. Kei te aha koe, what are you doing? Kei te kōrero au, I am speaking. So that's something that you would see a lot when starting out in learning Te Reo Māori. There's a couple more examples. You might see 𝐭𝐻𝐿, where is? 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐿, where is he? Kei te kura ia, he is at school. Another example for possession of something, kei awai te pukapuka, who has the book? Kei a tama te pukapuka. And so these examples really fall into these top two examples, with the exception of kei te for our tenses. So they're sentences that you would regularly see in a lot of sort of beginner literacy. But something that you don't often see is in textbooks and literacy for beginners anyway, is this definition down here, where K is a particle. It means beware lest, might, do not. Expresses a warning if it follows a command or a negative command and stands on its own. In this usage, it suggests that something might happen, but not necessarily that it will. K may also be used as a command not to do something, in which case it will begin the sentence and be followed by a verb. So from that, we can sort of start to see that it's providing like a warning. It's causing someone to be aware of something, expressing sort of concern, which is completely different from the meanings that we're giving K up here. So you might be reading a text, for instance, and you're bumbling along going, yep, I'm understanding all this, and you'll come across the kupu K and realize that its usage in that context doesn't match your understanding based on these two definitions up here. And it might be that the definition relates to this item here, item 3. So I've got a few examples listed, and I'm going to scroll down and we'll have a look at those to see how it is used. So I've got some examples here. I've highlighted these with some colors to try and match some of these kupu with between Te Reo Māori and English. Just helps you follow along a little bit. So in these top 3 examples, we can start to see here we've got K, K, K. So that's where our kupu K, where we're talking about beware lest or providing warning, starts. But before that, you'll see that there's these sections of text in red. Maybe I should have highlighted that red. And so these are all commands. So this is us telling someone to do something. Kia tūpato, be careful. Whakamaua o hu, put your shoes on. We'll highlight that red as well. Kia kaha tō oma, run fast, or make your run strong. So run fast. So what we're saying here is we're providing some sort of direction, some sort of command, and then subsequent to that, we're providing the reason why. We're giving the reason as to why you must be wary of that particular activity that's happening. So here, kia tūpato kai hinga koe I te papatākaro. Be careful or you'll fall off the playground. Whakamaua o hu, put your shoes on. Kai mā mai I o waiwai I te whenua pōhatu. So your feet don't get hurt from the rocky ground. Kia kaha tō oma, kei whai atu te kuri ki a koe. Run fast so the dog doesn't chase you. So you can kind of start to see that structure. And so if you were reading a text, for instance, or you were listening to something and you heard the kupu kei and it didn't quite fit within your understanding of kei from maybe these definitions, you would then try and look at the broader context of what's being said and see if it fits this, because there's a good chance that it might be this is what's being expressed. And that's shown in these examples here. Now, I've got 2 more examples down the bottom here, and these ones align with the last sentence here. Kei may also be used as a command not to do something, in which case it will begin the sentence and be followed by a verb. So this is similar to, you may have seen the structure for kaua e da 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 da. Don't do something. Kaua e oma. Don't run. Kaua e haere ki te mahi. Don't go to work. It's very similar to that. We've got kei, and then it's followed by a verb. So in this example, kei ware ware koe, ware meaning to forget, ki te para kuihi. Don't forget to eat breakfast. So that might be saying, you think of that in the context of your life, might be something that you say as you run out the door, if some of your whānau are still at home when you're leaving in the morning. Kei tai tu reiti ki te hui. So there's 2 kupu there, tai meaning to arrive, tu reiti being a loan phrase, which means too late. You can probably hear that, tu reiti, too late. So kei tai tu reiti ki te hui. Don't arrive late to the meeting. So we can see there, kei is at the start and then our verb. So we can express something that's similar to our kaua e sentence structure. So that's hopefully something new to you, hopefully something that you can keep an eye out for, and it will help you on your journey as you're looking at maybe more advanced texts or texts that are just a bit more comprehensive, because I expect that you would see this coming up, and yeah, it can be something that could throw people out. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Please, like I said at the start, like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time. Kia ora.